A body bag is the most unusual item that every airline carries. 49% of all fatal airplane accidents occurred during the final descent or landing phase of the flight. But passengers still have a 95% chance of surviving. Let's find out more about this unknown facts. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and click the bell button before we begin the video. Even though planes are cleaned, they aren't cleaned as frequently as you might think. You already know not to drink the plane's water. But it's nearly impossible to avoid all the germs in the cabin because everything you touch likely contains germs, including your seat, your seat belt, and your tray table. They're literally on every surface, and some things, like seat belts on airplanes, occasionally have yeast or mold on them. However, aside from the seat belts and tray tables, the other dirtiest items on an airplane are the headrests, which are even dirtier because there isn't enough time to clean each one before new passengers board the aircraft. To prevent this, it is best to disinfect the surfaces you'll be touching frequently yourself today because autopilot is so common. While these are intended to assist the pilot in navigating the air, control speed, and ensure a flawless landing. If you've ever sat directly above the wing of an airplane, you've probably observed the flaps on the wing springing up just before touchdown. These flaps are essential to keeping the plane in the air. But in addition, they can give ground crews signals about what's happening inside the aircraft. For example, if the flap on the left wing is up when the aircraft is on the ground, this signal tells ground personnel that there is distress or a potential hijacking situation inside the aircraft. Although pilots hardly ever use these signals, they are still available if necessary. The last thing pilots need is for the flight attendants to be disturbing them while they communicate with air traffic control and cross-check instruments. However, there are procedures to follow in the event of an emergency that requires flight attendants to communicate during takeoff and landing. However, on most flights, it is understood that the pilot shouldn't be disturbed while taking off or landing the plane for everything to go smoothly on the flight attendant's part. Every passenger who has ever flown has encountered turbulence. This is due to the fact that experiencing turbulence on a flight is quite common and isn't something you should freak out over. there are a variety of reasons why turbulence occurs, including stormy skies, strong winds, or another plane passing by. But it's highly unlikely that a plane will crash as a result of turbulence. Because every aircraft is built and tested to go far beyond what we typically expect from turbulence. Sometimes it even feels worse than it actually is. We did mention that the moments spent during takeoff and landing are some of the most dangerous of the entire flight. Because it is more likely that an incident will occur at these parts than on the other portions of the flight. Have you ever wondered why? Well, the moments spent during takeoff and landing are some of the most dangerous moments of the entire flight. Despite the fact that 49 of all fatal airplane accidents occurred during the final descent or landing phase of the flight, passengers still have a 95% chance of surviving, according to the National Transportation Safety Board. So while you worry about turbulence while you're flying, don't worry too much. A body bag is the most unusual item that every airline carries. First aid kits, oxygen masks, and life vests are all standard equipment on flights, and the flight attendants and pilots are prepared for any possible scenario. In the event that a passenger passes away while on board, the crew will use the body bag to cover the deceased person and store it if there is space. Otherwise, the body will remain in the seat for the remainder of the flight. Typically, the body is covered with a blanket and moved to an empty seat. However, if the flight is full, the body is typically laid out in the rear gallery. In some cases, the crew members may be seated next to the body. But this is all because of the fact that there isn't a designated space on a plane for such things.
Thank you for watching. If you like the video, don't forget to share and click on the notification button for more of our amazing videos.